What's going on, YouTube? Mr. Wheels here once again, bringing you another episode of Sports Talk. I'm going to be talking about the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. Game 7 happened earlier tonight, and Montreal, in my opinion, pulled off a huge upset win in Boston, winning 3-1 and taking the best-of-7 series 4-3. And they'll play the New York Rangers in the conference final. But before I get into what I want to talk about, I'd ask you to please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Please follow me on Twitter at Sledgehead86 and like my Facebook page, Mr. Wheels86. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought about the series. Tell me what your predictions are for the conference final. And let's get into let's get into it right now. So, Montreal in this series, I thought they were underdogs. They're facing the big bad Bruins. I don't think a lot of people gave them a chance to actually win the series. I think everybody knew it was going to be close. But the turning point that I found was in Game 5, I believe it was. Sean Thornton got a little cocky, squirting a water bottle at some of the Canadiens players. And Milan Lucic was flexing his muscles, and mainly the Bruins were just being overly cocky and arrogant, and they really didn't have the series closed out, obviously, and nothing was really won yet, and they did that, and I think that gave Montreal the motivation to come back and kick Boston's ass, which, being the only Canadian team in the playoffs this season, I'm not a Canadiens fan, but I don't mind seeing them in the conference final. And you got to talk about the play of Carey Price because he, over the last 2 games of the series, he stopped 55 of 56 shots. And if you go back to his play in the Olympics, he let in 1 goal against Latvia, and then from then on, in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the Olympics, he was lights out. And then in this series versus Boston, when it comes to elimination games, it was only the second goal he let in. So he's having an outstanding year. Montreal's getting scoring from guys like Dale Weiss, who's now got 3 goals. Daniel Briere's been his usual clutch self. And guys like Max Pacioretty stepping up when he needs to and scoring big goals. I mean, nobody can stop the Canadiens right now. PK Subban's been solid on defense, and he's been leading their defense, in my opinion, throughout the playoffs. You look at Boston, Tuukka Rask, maybe started the series a little bit better than he finished it. I thought he should have had that stop against Pacioretty in Game 6 on the breakaway. But the other thing for Boston is, if you look at both the series versus Detroit and Montreal, their top guns really didn't get going. I mean, they came up and scored a few big goals at certain times. They handled the Red Wings pretty convincingly, and I thought they had a handle on this series versus Montreal, but really Boston could have got more production out of their big players. Lucic, Krejci, Bergeron, Brad Marchand, definitely. He was invisible throughout these playoffs, in my opinion. I think they really missed Dennis Seidenberg being hurt. Obviously, no Nathan Horton this year or Tyler Seguin. So I think Boston just, they're still a good team, but they just didn't have what they needed to continue on in these playoffs, and a team like Montreal came in and whooped their ass. It's going to be a great series versus the Rangers for the Canadiens. I expect that series to go 7. I'm going to do a preview video for both conference finals. every team left in the Stanley Cup Playoffs has a 25% chance of winning it. Leave me a comment below. Tell me who you think is going to win the cup. That's all I really have to say. Again, I'd ask you to please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Sledgehead86. Like my Facebook page at Mr. Wheels86. And I will see you next time.